Before we start the show, I wanted to make a really cool announcement. I am going on Race Day Live this Saturday in Daytona. That's right. Didn't see this coming, didn't plan on this happening, didn't even really plan on going to a race this year, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I am on my way to Daytona. And Race Day Live has a special place in my heart. I was on that show for 7 years, and now I'm on the other side of the screen. I'm a fan on Saturdays watching my boys, Justin Brayton and Adam Cincerello, do their thing, and I couldn't be more grateful and happy to be a guest on their show. I want to thank the fans of Supercross, you crazy fans who have always been very supportive and always had my back. I do think that probably played a little bit of a role here, so thank you. And to JB and to AC, boys, make some room, spread out. I'm coming in hot. I can't wait to join you guys on the show. Daytona is very special to me as well. It was my favorite race I've ever called from the booth 2 years ago, 2023. What a wild and crazy night that was. And I'm back with my friends on a show that means a lot to me. So again, thank you. I'll see you on Saturday on Race Day Live.
The Daniel Blair Show, sponsored by Motorsport.com, Mika Metals, Race Tech, ASV Inventions, and Guts Racing.
So many storylines heading into Daytona, but there can only be one lead story, and it's Chase Sexton. I can't go Cooper Webb here. Last week I laid it all out, Cooper backed it up, and I'm not going to tell the same story twice. Instead, this week I have to put the microscope on Chase in an attempt to figure out what the heck is going on with this guy. It's confusing to watch, painful actually, and maybe some harsh truths need to be said to get a better understanding of why a strength-like mentality can continue to bite him in the ass over and over again. So here we go. In every Supercross story, there's always a moment, a defining moment, when everything changes. When the story either takes a triumphant rise or a devastating fall. A moment when we look back and say that's where it was won, or that's where it was lost. And right now, today, Chase Sexton is standing at that crossroad. The way he's executing, or not executing, the way he's making decisions, the way he's playing this game, and most importantly, the way he's talking ain't working, and it won't moving forward. Not against someone as crafty, as strategic, and as calculated as Cooper Webb. This title will not be won with speed or brute strength, advantages that Chase has over everyone, including Cooper. No, this is Supercross. This is chess, not checkers. You can't just force your way to the top in a discipline where your brain has to be just as sharp as your body, actually more. It's going to take another layer, another tool in the box, and right now, today, Chase doesn't have it. That's the frustrating part. He's not some underdog trying to prove he belongs. He's already won a lot. He's the guy, without question, the most complete on the gate. The eye test is obvious. If you put every skill, every trait, every measurable attribute under the microscope, Chase is the guy. Speed? He's the fastest, no question. Fitness? Dude is a tank. Whoop speed? There's nobody consistently better than him. Corner speed? Perfect. Determination? Unquestionable. Grit? Tougher than anyone. But that's not what actually defines him. What makes Chase special is the very thing that might cost him a championship that he should be leading by 20. It's his mentality. Chase's mentality makes him relentless, allows him to hit the ground, shake it off, and still be the guy to beat the next Saturday. It's what picked him up off the ground 10 times in 2023, and he became a champion. It's what drove him from 40th to 1st at Hangtown last summer. That part is good. No, that part is great, and it's inspirational, and it's why he's made it this far, and why I respect him so much. But it's the other side of it, the side that doesn't know when enough is enough, the side that refuses to accept anything less than total domination, even when it's not necessary. The side that can take a perfectly good win, a smart win, and flip it into a disaster. That's why, if he doesn't figure this out right now, he's going to lose this championship. And I don't get it. It's not like he hasn't seen this before. He's had a front row seat to watch others fall into the same trap, and he's benefited from their failure. Austin Forkner, 250 Supercross, years back, had to win every night, had to put everyone in the ground, had to force his dominance at every opportunity, and had to make a statement every single time the gate dropped. And what happened? He smashed himself into the ground again and again before the whoops at Nashville ended him. Chase stood on the top of the podium and took that title because Austin never saw the big picture. He never thought about the long game. He wanted to win every battle, and it cost him the war, a war Chase Sexton won. Jett Lawrence last summer won the opening round at Fox Raceway, came into Hangtown with all the momentum and a clear runway to back up his championship. And then he went full alpha, took a gamble, tried to send a message, and paid the price. One bad decision, and it was Chase celebrating on top of the podium. So how is it that Chase watched these guys make these mistakes, benefited from their miscalculations, and yet he's doing the exact same thing now? Bro, come on, you know this. Let's not sugarcoat it. Chase has developed a reputation with the fans and his competitors, and it's not the kind you want when you're trying to be a champion against Cooper Webb. 3 straight weeks, 3 big unnecessary mistakes, and everyone is watching. This isn't bad luck, it's not a fluke, it's a pattern, and the worst part, it's self-inflicted. Tampa was an easy layup, not for the main event win, that was Malcolm Stewart's night. Chase didn't need 25 points that night, he needed 22. This sport is about accumulating points, and a second-place finish with Cooper Webb and Ken Roczen behind him was a win. That was the championship play. No Jett Lawrence or Eli Tomac on the gate, a perfect opportunity to play it smart, extend his points lead, and dungy these guys. Instead, he grenaded himself in the whoops. And look, I ain't a dummy. Crashes in the whoops happen all the time. The best of the best go down in them. But this one, totally unnecessary. There was no pressure, no need to push the limit. Malcolm was on one, fine, just take second, take the points, and move on. Instead, he rode like someone who thought he had to win, and it bit him. Then came Detroit, and if Tampa wasn't frustrating, this one was straight up unacceptable. If it was just a mistimed start, you could excuse it as a freak mistake or a singular oops, not connected to a pattern of errors. But then we hear that Jason Anderson flinched and Chase reacted. That right there tells you everything. It means he wasn't locked in, wasn't dialed in on his own race. He let someone else's action dictate his reaction. And in doing so, he handed over more points and let the Shark grab his first win of the season. Not good. And then Arlington. This one stings the most because this time he didn't just crash, he didn't just make a mistake. This was a choice, a decision to go for something he didn't need. The overall win was his. The points were his. He could have corrected course. He raced the past 2 weeks, reestablished control, and deflated Cooper Webb the right way by outplaying him in his own game. Smarts. Could have gone on the podium and said, I'm playing the long game. I know my rival. I know how he plays it, and I'm ready for the mental battle. 25 points, sucker, and dropped the mic. But winning wasn't enough. He wanted more. He wanted to send a message, and all he did was send the wrong message. He proved that individual moments matter more to him than a championship, that he'd rather be the fastest guy in the stadium than the guy lifting the trophy in Arlington and Salt Lake City. If he had played it smarter, he'd have a 20-point lead right now. Instead, he's on the ropes, mentally, and Cooper Webb is loving every second of it. Cooper's a different animal. He doesn't have Chase's raw speed, doesn't have Jett's effortless ability, doesn't have Eli's beast mode strength, but he doesn't need those things because his mind is the most dangerous weapon in this sport. Coop studies his opponents, he watches, listens, dissects their weaknesses, and exploits them at the perfect moment. And right now, Chase is the easiest target Coop has ever had because he doesn't have to beat him. He just has to let Chase beat himself. In the last 3 weeks, Chase has done exactly that. As we all know, this sport is as mental as it is physical, maybe more. And while Chase has the physical part locked down, mentally right now, he's shaky at best. The proof of that wasn't just in the crashes and it wasn't just the gate flinch. It was in the post-race interview. Because when he had the chance to take ownership and say, I blew it, it won't happen again, and acknowledge that he made the wrong call, he blamed the bike.
Go work on the bike myself and come back for Daytona.
The bike came first. Himself came second. That right there was the most deflating thing he said all season, maybe ever, and my heart dropped. Dude, the bike didn't make him hit the gate in Detroit. The bike didn't force him to send it unnecessarily in Arlington. On the last lap of a race, he had won 25 points. The bike didn't make him crash in the whoops at Tampa. Those were his decisions, his choices, his responsibility, and if he's looking at the bike instead of himself, then he's done for. If it's the bike, then was it the bike that won him Anaheim? No, he did. Was it the bike that won him Pro Motocross last summer? No, he did. Is it the bike that makes him fastest every week, or was it him? You deserve the credit for the wins. You deserve the credit for your speed, and you are responsible for the losses. That's how this works. That's how champions operate, and that is how he has spoken in years past. It's what I've always admired about Chase. He's an own-it guy, but if he doesn't own this singular ownership, then Cooper will own him by Salt Lake City. Daytona is everything. I know it's just one race, but it's more than that for Chase. Ricky Carmichael has always said the championship starts at Daytona, and for Chase, that's never been truer than right now. He has to win, but he can't afford another mistake. He can't afford another week of gift-wrapping points, because if he loses again, if it's 4 straight losses, then it's not just a rough stretch anymore. It's the story of the season. And Webb, he's waiting, he's watching, he's laughing. But then he's flipping the script in his own mind, making himself the underdog again, because he knows he doesn't have to beat Chase. He just has to be there when Chase beats himself. This championship is Chase Sexton's to lose, and right now, he's losing it. Come on, bro. There's only one piece of the puzzle missing. Own it. If you like overreaction, and if you like the Daniel Blair Show, then you are going to love Main Event Moto. Come hang with us over at patreon.com/Main Event Moto. We see the comments. We know you want more. We know you want longer. Well, that's what we do at Main Event Moto. We have long-form podcasts where we break everything down layer by layer, and we have a really, really good time. Sometimes too much fun, and that's the point. So come join us over at patreon.com/Main Event Moto. Let's party.